Beloved sisters and brothers, Pastor Melo is back. In their bestseller published recently, Jean-Yves Bolloré and Bonessis, two French scientists give a flood of scientific evidence proving the existence of the Most High Creator of heaven and earth, which are as solid as rock and as clear as crystalline water. Please follow some of the arguments based on updated scientific discoveries. All studies in biology have shown that in order that the smallest living cell may work, it takes at least 200 different types of proteins. The question is, how did 3.5 billion years ago appear this ultra-complicated language called DNA? You know, in one strand of DNA, you have more information than in the entire Encyclopedia Universalis. Scientists are amazed at the technology in there. This language was created 3.5 billion years ago alone, and it's the same language that codes all living up to today. It never moved. Scientists have discovered that the smallest living cell, such as a bacterium, is comparable to a spaceship filled with computers. Let's analyze the anthropogenic principle. This means that there are physical and biological constants which regulate infinitesimally all the laws of nature. Whenever you take anything and drop it, it will fall with a gravity force that is determined by a constant which is G6 67430. You have to understand that if it were 431 or 429, nothing would exist. Why? Because the gravity constant is immutable. It determines, for example, the life of a star. If the last digit of the gravity constant were changed to 431 instead of 430, a star, instead of lasting 5 billion years, would have a duration of barely 3 years. Life on Earth could not have been created during this ephemeral space of time. We have just analyzed hard science, so to speak, with cosmology, settings, constants, biology, life, DNA, etc. We will now enter the realm of the inexplicable, the realm of miracles. As you know, for atheists who profess pure and hard materialism, everything is explicable by Cartesian reason. However, throughout human history, there have been hundreds of miracles that escape reason. We chose as a typical example of this kind of phenomenon what happened in Portugal at Fatima in 1917. History books tell us that at the beginning of the 20th century, Portugal experienced a violent era of anti-clericalism. The church and all that concern the faith have been persecuted, banished from Portuguese society. And it is at this very time that the famous apparitions of Fatima begin. 3 little shepherds affirm that a heavenly lady appears to them regularly on the 13th of each month from May 13th, and that to prove that what the children tell is true, on October 13th there will be a solar phenomenon that everyone will be able to see. On that day, it rains abundantly at Fatima and in the surroundings. The photos taken on the spot show a compact crowd under a forest of umbrellas. At noon, the hour given by the Lady of Heaven, the sun begins to tremble, then to dance, then to turn on itself, projecting flashes of multicolored lights. On the 70,000 people who witness the phenomenon, completely stunned. The miracle lasts 12 minutes, which completely defy the laws of nature. While the ground was totally muddy because of the rain, it turns instantly dry after the prodigy, as well as the clouds and the umbrellas. Many of those who witnessed the phenomenon are atheists, among them outstanding journalists of the most anti-clerical newspaper in Portugal, O Século. These journalists will have no other word to describe what happened in Fatima on October 13th. Miracle. Therefore, no one can deny it. even the most hardened atheist, Fatima is a phenomenon beyond the laws of physics. So it's a miracle, a sign, semeion in Greek. Now, every miracle proves the existence of a higher intelligence transcending time, space, and matter. It is this higher intelligence that has revealed to us the secret behind the apparitions of Fatima, and this secret itself is a miracle. Miracle of the birth 9 months after the beginning of the apparitions of a child announced 2,000 years earlier in the Bible, Revelation 12:5, Revelation 16:15. Miracle of the 66-year-old existence on earth of a man whose 3,500-year-old portrait is the most poignant text in the book of Isaiah, chapter 53, 1 to 3. A miracle constituted by the fact that this man alone, this sign, semeion, will once again completely upset the course of mankind history, making the mighty of the earth his footstool, placing the last in the first row and the first in the last row, Matthew 20:16. Miracle because this man is the only voice capable of resonating beyond the seas and oceans to call the tens of millions of the dispersed of his soleil, Jeremiah 31:8-13. Believe me, the Most High exists. He is African, he is Muntu, son of man, he is Kongo Man, Revelation 19:16. And very soon every eye will see him. Ingeta Pastor Melo.
Il y a des milliers d'apparitions, il y a des milliers de saints.